Now, let us go across the pond and see what is going on, because, of course, 2024 will be a big year in this country. In America, it'll be even bigger because America is the leader. The American president is the leader of the free world. And, of course, Donald Trump is now, if you look at the prices in British bookmaking shops, and the bookies get this stuff right normally, Trump is now very, very clearly the favourite over Biden, or indeed any other Democrat, to win the presidency in November 2024. But of course, he has to actually be on the ballot paper. And following on from Colorado, Maine have decided that Donald Trump cannot be on the ballot, not just in November 2024, but also in the primaries. And the season for that kicks off pretty quickly. Now, it seems to me that the US Supreme Court ought to be acting on this and doing so pretty damn quickly. The last time this happened was in 1860. Yep, it really was. That's when a president was kept off the ballot paper. In fact, 10 southern states kept Abraham Lincoln off the ballot paper, but he still managed to win. But that was America heading towards a catastrophic civil war. Surely modern-day America can do better. Let's get the reaction of Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski. Corey, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for coming back on with me at GB News.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks for having me.
Corey, I mean, it seems almost to us extraordinary that whether you like or dislike Donald Trump, that the 14th Amendment, something that was designed to stop Civil War leaders on the losing side in the 1860s, that somehow, Supreme Courts in two states can decide that somehow it's acceptable to stop Donald Trump from being a candidate. I mean, are these people losing their minds?
Nigel, these are self-aggrandising liberals who are so afraid that when Donald Trump is on the ballot, he's going to destroy Joe Biden. They're so fearful that Donald Trump is going to become the 47th president of the United States that they've taken it upon themselves. Unelected bureaucrats, really. In the Supreme Court case in Colorado, those people are appointed by a Democrat judge. Yeah. In the state of Maine, the Secretary of State is not elected by the people. She is actually elected by the legislature. So it's not like she went in with this mandate of going to make change. She single-handedly determined that Donald Trump, although he has never been charged, let alone convicted of the crime of insurrection, has committed an insurrection back in January the 6th. And so she is determined that he will not be eligible to be on the ballot in Maine. The Supreme Court must weigh in on this immediately, and they should be completely unified. It's impossible to have a case where a person's never been charged, let alone convicted, and then have them removed or not access to the ballot. That is the disenfranchisement by definition of what the Democrats supposedly rail against, but they are the biggest perpetrator of that.
Biden always goes on about American democracy and how important it is, and yet doesn't seem to want to say anything about these judgments. But what worries me, Corey, is I'm not hearing any noises coming out of the Supreme Court. I'm not hearing they're going to sit tomorrow and deliberate on this. They seem to be dragging their feet.
Well, Nigel, the worst part is just last night on Sunday, Chief Justice Roberts wrote his end-of-the-year soliloquy and never even mentioned this case, didn't mention anything other than really AI or artificial intelligence and the possibilities and problems associated with that going forward. Never mentioned the Donald Trump case. And look, I think this is a seminal case in front of the U.S. Supreme Court, maybe the biggest case that has been decided in the history of the court to potentially prevent an American citizen who has been convicted of no crimes from running for office is a very dangerous precedent. And if the court listens to this, and I believe Colorado has cert to have this heard, and they don't speak in a unified tone, the left will use this as a dog whistle, and they will say that this is the conservatives on the court just trying to get Donald Trump back in. The fact is the American people should have a say of who they elect president.
Yeah, absolutely. The American people should reject Donald Trump or accept Donald Trump, not highly politicized judges. And one day we'll have a broader debate about the politicization of that judiciary, but not right now. Now, Corey, you're still on very good terms with the 45th, and he hopes to be the 47th president. Let me ask you, have you seen him recently, and how do you think he's going to react to all of this?
Well, I've had the privilege to spend time with him. He's been in New Hampshire, my home state, campaigning a lot with a first in the nation primary. Our election here is on January 23rd. So in just 3 weeks from today, we'll have an election. And so 3 weeks from tomorrow. So, I've had the chance to spend time with him. He and I were in what they call the Beast just 2 weeks ago together, just he and I talking about how things are playing out. I think Donald Trump is more emboldened than ever to fight for the American people, not because he needs personal wealth or recognition, because he knows if he doesn't do it, our country cannot sustain the opportunities to give to the next generation. We have seen what in 3 short years the Biden administration has done, and we've got an immigration system which is fundamentally broken. We need Donald Trump back in office. He's ready for that fight. He's chosen that fight. And Nigel, I'll tell you, when I was with him on that Saturday 2 weeks ago, he woke up in Florida. He flew to New Hampshire. He spoke for an hour and a half. He got on a plane. He flew to Nevada, went to the fights that night, and finished at 1 o'clock in the morning Nevada time, which is 4 o'clock in the morning East Coast time. And then he got up the next morning and did it all over again. The guy is an animal. He's a beast. He wants this fight, and I cannot wait to take it right to Joe Biden.
Yeah, no, Corey, he has the constitution of an ox. And I did say to him once personally, he's the only person I know that makes me feel like an introvert. He is an extraordinary guy. Now, Iowa, you mentioned New Hampshire, the state you're living in, but Iowa is of more significance. There's still quite a big field of candidates for the Republican nomination. I'm going to be in Iowa in a couple of weeks' time and hope to see you there. Is it possible that Trump delivers the knockout blow in Iowa?
Well, I'm going to Iowa tomorrow morning, and I'm going to see on the ground firsthand what's going on. And I was there in 2016. I caucused at the caucus events in 2020 for then President Trump. Look, here's the way our system's going to work. Donald Trump is going to win Iowa. He's got about a 35-point lead over Ron DeSantis, who is still technically in second place, but he's polling around 18%. Then Trump's going to come to New Hampshire, and he's going to win here, and Nikki Haley will probably finish second. This race is over when Donald Trump makes it to South Carolina, which is the 4th state following Nevada. Once that happens and Donald Trump has secured wins in Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, and then South Carolina, the race is over. We go to Super Tuesday, and by the first week of March, statistically speaking, Donald Trump will have secured enough delegates to be the de facto nominee. He will be ready to beat Joe Biden. And this race is, look, Nigel, the race is almost over now. You have to play it out. And the Trump team has done a phenomenal job in Iowa of coordinating and getting those caucus captains and those individuals ready to commit to caucus for Trump. He's going to be there Friday. I'm going to be there Tuesday, Wednesday. Marjorie Taylor Greene is coming. It is going to inundate the people of Iowa so they understand what's at stake here.
No, well, by March the 5th, Super Tuesday, it will, as you say, all be over. There'll then be more speculation as to who is actually going to run for the Democrats. Corey, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year. I'll see you in Iowa in just a few days' time. Thank you.
You bet.